everyone. We are going to learn about the principles of art. Come on in, come over here. We're going to look at some paintings that have movement. If you look up high, you're going to see three canvases that are attached together. And the reason it has movement is because of all of the lines, and they connect and flow into each other. So lines is a good way to create movement in your artwork, and it allows your eyes to travel across the page in sculptures and in two-dimensional artwork. Next up, we're going to talk about unity. And guys, unity is when you have something in your artwork that ties it all together. So it might be a color that you repeat, a shape that you repeat. It just doesn't feel like a whole bunch of random chaos. There's something that you repeat that ties your whole work together. So in this hanging sculpture up here, the shape is repeated, the little flowers and the leaves, as well as the colors, and it helps ties it all together to create unity. Next up, we're going to talk about contrast. And guys, contrast means you have some type of difference going on in your artwork. It's not all the same everywhere. And contrast is a good way to make things stand out. In this artwork by Kate Louise Powell, she creates contrast by using different colors. So the bottom part, she doesn't use many colors at all. It's mostly black and white, feels more like a drawing. And the top part is more of a full, complete painting where she used lots of colors. And there wouldn't be as much contrast between the top and the bottom if the whole top was just, black and white drawing too. So contrast is some type of difference, and you can create that with color. You can change your art materials. There's many ways you can create that difference called contrast. All right, guys, next we're going to talk about the principle of art, emphasis. And guys, emphasis is when you want to draw attention to something in your artwork. So this painting by Kathleen Lawley, she draws attention to this creature in the middle of her artwork. And guys, she does that by making it big. So you can draw attention to something by making it big, but also detailed. If you can look closely, she has tons of little bitty details that draw our eyes to that. So she created emphasis by making things big and detailed. Sometimes you can create emphasis by making things a really bright color, especially if the background is not bright. So you can create emphasis in different ways, but it means to draw attention to something in your artwork. Alrighty guys, now we're going to talk about balance. And you can create balance by making something exactly the same on both sides and making it symmetrical. Or you can create balance by creating asymmetrical balance, which means it's not the same on both sides, but it still feels balanced. So sometimes you just kind of have to ask yourself if it feels balanced. Did I create things throughout the whole painting or whole picture, whole sculpture that makes things feel evenly weighted? Or did I put a lot of stuff on one side and left the other side pretty empty, or some areas pretty empty where it doesn't quite feel balanced? So when we're talking about balance, that's really when you kind of just look at your artwork and ask yourself, does it feel evenly weighted everywhere? For this painting that I did a while ago, it's not symmetrical, but when I was working on it, I tried to kind of, space out everything and kind of repeat colors so it kind of felt balanced. Repeat, dark colors and light colors. So the whole painting felt more balanced to me rather than having big, areas where there wasn't much texture or color and areas where there were. I kind of tried to spread it throughout the whole painting. Next up, we're going to talk about two principles of art, rhythm and pattern. And you band people and choir people probably know quite a bit about rhythm. And guys, that's the beat. And artwork can surprisingly have a beat too. And you can create a beat, guys, by repeating something. You can repeat a color again and again and again, and it feels like it has rhythm. You can create patterns over and over again, and that feels like it has rhythm. So to me, rhythm and pattern really go together. And we're going to zoom in on this painting and drawing because it's a mixture of different art materials by Amy Weddle. And if you look closely, guys, especially to her background, it's really, really intricate. And it has a really neat pattern that she repeats all over the background. And it kind of creates this rhythm. The way the lines move, the repeating of the colors over and over and over again. So it's a good example of rhythm and pattern. Alrighty, well there you have it, Penny. The more you think about the principles of art, the more complex and the more sophisticated your art becomes. Thank you everybody for listening.